Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to another video. It's Daniel.
And Dan.
And this is the Nose Knows. Today we are talking about the most popular men's Chanel fragrance. It is the #1 cologne. It is BLEU de Chanel. And today we are going to be talking about the Eau de Toilette version, which is the most popular. This has been Dan's fragrance before the Alorum Sport for many years. And this bottle is like, we have like 2 drops left. Like we can't even spray it. We see just a little bit in the bottom, and he has gone through this bottle over the course of about 2 or 3 years.
It was really my first adult fragrance. I went straight from Gap Blue to Chanel Blue.
2 very different blues. So what do you like about this fragrance?
What's not to like? It's pretty smooth. It doesn't like smack you in the face with being overpowering. I've gotten lots of compliments just out of the blue. People I know pretty much just being like, "You smell so good. What are you wearing?"
You get a lot of, it just smells like blue. It just smells like BLEU de Chanel. There's just a lot of different things happening in it. So I'll go over the notes so people know what is in the composition and also kind of how it transforms as you wear it. So when you first spray it, you get a burst of citrus and the tang of grapefruit. You definitely get a strong grapefruit note. Just in the beginning, it's very pronounced. There's a little bit of peppermint, some nutmeg, and a tiny bit of pink pepper too, and they're kind of giving it this fresh accord, which is really nice. As it dries down, the warmth of cedarwood comes through, but it's mingled with grass jasmine, which is in pretty much all the Chanel perfumes. It's a flower, obviously, from Grasse, France, and to me, the jasmine is what really sets the fragrance apart, being a men's fragrance, but having this floral note in it. So the cedarwood and the jasmine mix as it dries down and warms up on the skin. And finally, there's some patchouli, vetiver, and frankincense that gives it a weight and kind of grounds it. And it just creates this masterpiece where it's a swirling of different scents. And it's hard to pin down what it is, but it just smells good. There's a reason it's the most popular of the Chanel colognes, and there's so many good Chanel men's fragrances, and this one just takes the cake. Someone noticed it at dinner once, you said?
Yeah. Just a friend of my parents was just out of the blue like, "What is that delightful scent you're wearing?" I thought he was joking at first, and he's like, "No, really, what are you wearing?" I was like, "It's Blue from Chanel."
Another aspect of the BLEU de Chanel franchise is that there are a ton of ancillary products to go with it, which are really fun to give a dimension to the scent. That is called scent layering, where you use different products that are all associated with the scent to kind of make it your own, because each one is going to wear differently with your body chemistry. So if you're using an aftershave product, a deodorant, a shave cream, and the fragrance, it's going to kind of all morph to your chemistry and create a really unique scent for you. 2 that I use are the BLEU de Chanel deodorant, and this really impressed me because I do like BLEU, but you know, I have so many different fragrances, and BLEU being a very mainstream fragrance, I always sort of gravitated towards other more niche fragrances, and I like really strong scents that are like super weighty and have a lot of body to them. But when I put the deodorant on, this gives it that weightiness. And there was one night when you came home and I was already chilling and I just had this on and a t-shirt, and you could smell it, and I didn't even have the fragrance on, and you said, "Are you wearing the BLEU?" And I'm like, "No, just the deodorant." So it's really strong, and it has more of that fruity accord in it, so it's a little bit more pronounced. Also, a great product to go with the BLEU is the shower gel, and this stuff is so yummy. You can see the bottles are the same. This one's plastic, so if you drop in the shower, it's not gonna cut your feet up. You don't want that. You'll be bleeding blue. This is really nice. It emphasizes the vetiver and the frankincense and the cedarwood. You get a lot of the woodiness and the fruit as well. So it's a very fruity, woody smell, even more than the fragrance. And then there are 3 different kinds of aftershave treatments with BLEU, as well as a limited edition shave cream. So there are a ton of options. There's also an eau de parfum, which we don't have, but it does smell quite different than the Eau de Toilette. I believe that there's a different type of sandalwood in it, and with all Chanel fragrances, different concentrations are actually, they emphasize different notes, so you never are getting just a more fragranced version, like a stronger amount of the oils in it. It's actually a different composition. So I know, to me, the BLEU Eau de Toilette reminds me of like the open sea. It's very breezy, airy, you get the blue water. And the Eau de Parfum is like a waterfall, and there's like a cool rock. It's so much stronger, and it feels cooler and more weighted than the Eau de Toilette, which is the one we're talking about today. Any other thoughts on it, Dan? You've moved on to Allure. Home Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Allure Home Sport is really, really delicious, and that's the one that he uses primarily now. But the BLEU is the one that takes the cake, that is definitely the most popular, the one that people react to in a really visceral way. And I find that because it mingles all those different notes in a really kind of intoxicating and sort of provocative way where you don't know what any of it is, it just smells so good. That's why people love BLEU. Like Allure Home Sport, it's a sport fragrance. It smells cool. It smells manly. It has that kind of ozone-y feel.
Really zesty.
Yeah, and zesty has the oriental facet. But it doesn't... BLEU draws you in this way. It feels like a whole world of itself. It feels like you're at the beach in the south of France, to me. It draws you in a different way. You know what I mean?
It's a little more subtle.
Yeah. But to me, it's like, it's more subtle, but it makes me keep wanting to be like, what is that? What is that? It makes me want to like get into it, because it's very mysterious and makes me curious, like what am I smelling? What am I smelling? Where maybe it's that the Allure Home Sport is easier to classify because it's a sport fragrance, and there's a lot of other fragrances that fall into that genre. Where with this one, when you add the jasmine in, that floral note with the cedar and the grapefruit and the vetiver, this is sort of in a class of its own. It's hard to pin down what it's even all about.
Yeah. Brings up questions.
Mystery. BLEU de Chanel. Seriously though, this is a great fragrance, and there's a reason it's number one. It's the most popular Chanel.
It was also, I would say it's a great introductory fragrance. If you were just thinking about getting into the fragrance world and picking a signature scent, I think the BLEU is a great way to start out and figure out what you like about it. And it's
very accessible.
Yeah, it's accessible. Yeah. It's a little subtle. It's not too one way or the other, too strong. It's not super like woody or rich or lavish, but it's also not super fruity and zesty and tangy.
Yeah.
It's kind of somewhere in the middle, so I think it's a good way if you're just wanting to try something new.
Yeah, I think it's a good, like you said, an introductory scent for fragrance, because we talk a lot about niche scents on this channel, and the Tom Ford private blends we talk about, the Creed, those are all fragrances for someone that's sort of a fragrance connoisseur. Like the Frederic Malle that we just reviewed is like a super niche fragrance. So this is one that is a lot more accessible, a lot easier to wear, a great introductory fragrance. But what's excellent about it is that because it's Chanel and because it's so well crafted, it's not like a basic fragrance. It's not something that smells like anyone else or is really boring. Chanel, to me, crafts the best fragrances for the money you're paying. So you might put out $400 for Creed Aventus, and it's handmade in France in the old world technique, but it's $400. Chanel, you can get BLEU for under $100, but you're getting a fine French fragrance that's really, really well crafted. I think that there's no other brand that does what Chanel does by creating such fine perfume from France, of course, that's so well crafted for what you pay for it. That's not, a couple $100. So I think that's a good point too, that maybe gets overlooked. So let's be honest, not everybody has hundreds of dollars to drop on fragrance, but they want to smell good. They want a cologne that's crafted well, that isn't going to smell cheap, but doesn't cost an arm and a leg to get. And I think Chanel has that perfect answer for them.
Right. It's sophisticated, it's multi-layered, it's well-balanced,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great go-to if you are having trouble deciding, you
Yeah.
know, do I want to go this way or this way? I don't know. Or you're going to maybe meeting a lot of new people or meeting important people at a networking event or a big social event or meeting your significant other's family or something. It's something that smells really nice, really sophisticated.
Yeah, it's not obtrusive.
Yeah,
Because a lot of fragrances can become really obtrusive.
exactly.
They can be very like, I'm here, don't I smell good? Aren't I awesome? But this one, it kind of takes a back seat and lets you shine. But people notice it in an imperceptible way. And there was a quote that our new perfumer at Chanel, Olivier Poche, his dad created BLEU, and he recently took over as the master perfumer at Chanel. He has a great quote that says, "You can others can see when you're wearing fragrance." And I think that's a really interesting way to look at it because it gives you a sense of confidence. And for a scent like BLEU that is light and that is kind of imperceptible, people may not even realize that they're getting that from you, that they're smelling that on you, but they know there's something about you that they can tell. There's an air of confidence, or there's just something about you that they maybe don't even notice it. It's so light. It's really cool when you're wearing it and when you experience it on somebody. You maybe don't even like register. It's almost under the radar, like a subliminal
messaging.
Yeah, subliminal messaging.
It's
So,
like,
it's
I'm
true.
a fantastic person, but you can't figure out why. Maybe it's because of how I smell.
BLEU.
Peekaboo. That's stupid.
Yeah. Okay, I have to show the packaging of the shower gel because it's so cool. It's just like the BLEU bottle in glass, except the way that it opens is so cool. You push it here, and the whole piece slides back. It's just so chic. And the openings there, you just put a little bit on your loofah or washcloth, and this slides back in. So it's really cool. They think through every single detail at Chanel, even down to the packaging, and the box that it comes in is thought out and presented in the most luxurious manner.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've been making fragrances since 1921. They definitely know what they're doing. On a large scale, too, which is cool. Thank you guys for watching this video. We are going to be doing a Tom Ford private blend scent coming up in the near future together. It's one that Dan likes to pull out for special occasions. It's his really fancy scent. So we will be covering that in the next few weeks. And then Megan will be coming back. She definitely wants to come back to do more videos. And we will probably be touching on maybe some skincare with her, but definitely some other perfume and probably some men's fragrances too. I think we're going to let Megan smell a couple guys' fragrances and see which one she responds to, just to get a woman's perspective on what she likes and doesn't like and what she loves.
Little match game for fragrances.
Yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We're going to be back next week with some more fragrance reviews as well as some skincare. And go check out BLEU de Chanel. Go smell it if you haven't, because it is the bomb.
So order it today.
312-241-7207.